Hello and welcome everybody to today's live commodity market analysis with the Gold and Silver Club for the 25th of August 2016, presented by myself, Phil Carr. So during today's session, we will be going through live market analysis. We will be covering a watch list of trading opportunities, an overview of the commodity markets, our portfolio performance and our top trades. And of course, as always, we will be answering your questions throughout today's session. So before we get started, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is the world's #1 commodities trading and investment coaching company. We are regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading. As internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, the energies, and the agricultural markets, they are routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, Global Banking and Finance Review, the Wall Street Journal. Our team of experts has trained and mentored over 100,000 private traders from all over the world to increase their wealth and generate substantial monthly income through commodities using our signature trading strategies. So for more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please feel free to visit our website, which is at www.thegoldensilverclub.com. Okay, so before we get started and look at the charts, we'll go through some of our research and some of the moves that we've seen certainly over the course of this week so far. Now, one market I want to identify on asset class to have a look at the moment is going to be the softs. So we've seen hedge funds switch focus over the month of August to the soft commodities. Our research shows us that hedge funds, they've switched their focus and boosted bets in sugar, in coffee and cocoa. Net long positions are currently within soft commodities. They are currently at the highest levels since 2014. In fact, sugar at the moment is up 31% so far this year. And we do see more opportunities for upside on these markets, particularly with sugar, coffee and cocoa. So I'll break it down for you. Sugar broke out to a 7-week high just yesterday. So we got incredibly close, in fact, to 4-year highs for sugar. If you're not trading sugar right now, it's a market I would definitely encourage you to have a look at. Raw sugar futures, they surged to the highest levels in 7 weeks on Wednesday as rains in top producer in Brazil were seen as potentially slowing the cane crush. Heavy rains in Brazil were seen as supportive, slowing the cane crush in the south region. And with that, we saw a significant breakout on sugar. Now, technically, sugar is also looking very good. We've come into a major supportive zone over the last couple of weeks. We've continued to build support and a major trend channel, bounce off some really key moving averages, including the 21-day moving average, the 50-day moving average. And so far, sugar is on track for a really stellar week. And we'll have a look at that very shortly. Now, also, I will put coffee on your radar as well, because coffee prices this week, they broke out to their highest levels in 3 weeks. We did see some profit taking into the close yesterday, but ultimately we've continued to see strength in this market. In fact, this morning, coffee has surged back up yet again. We've seen coffee breaking out to 3-week highs amid concerns about the impact of cold temperatures and rains in crops in top producer in Brazil. Coffee is now up 7% this year with further gains expected. We pulled back on Wednesday after profit taking, but we're right at that supportive layer at the 50-day moving average at the moment. Now, gold, of course, we are watching this market very closely as we go into the speech by Janet Yellen tomorrow. We've seen gold on the defensive this week. Today and tomorrow, we expect more of the same, as there aren't that many market moving data points ahead of the speech tomorrow. That is going to be the main focus. Now, the dollar index, we've seen it slightly down at 94.75. The dollar has really been moving back and forth over the past week as investors are awaiting Janet Yellen's speech. We saw yesterday US home resales gave a mixed picture on the world's largest economy, falling more than expected in July after 4 straight months of strong gains. And in fact, this morning we've seen the US dollar coming back down yet again. Now, we'll discuss gold in more detail when we actually go over to the charts, but definitely the markets are waiting for Janet Yellen's speech tomorrow for clues on the Fed rate hikes. And we'll have a look at that very shortly. Also, for those of you who like trading oil, we've seen a bit of a decline this week. Oil prices slipped on Thursday as the market focused on oversupply and fading hopes of a production freeze. We've got the big OPEC meeting, which is going to be in September, which we've seen an incredible rally actually over August, over 20% move that we saw so far this month. But yesterday, crude inventories rose to 2.5 million barrels compared with expectations for a decrease of 455,000. That was the biggest build since February 2015. With that, we've seen increased moves to the downside. With oil, we've seen a pullback, but we are getting towards some very interesting levels, which I'll talk you through on the charts. So with that, we will get into it. I will start off with the softs right now. We'll just have a look at, first of all, sugar and coffee, then we'll look at gold, and then we'll move over as well to oil. So you can have a look, technically speaking, we've got very strong fundamentals on sugar at the moment. Also, we have seen additional inflows from funds which are very supportive of the price. Now, we came very close yet again yesterday to breaking out of the highs here. These are the 4-year highs for sugar. If you go out to the higher time frames, you can see where we just came very close yet again yesterday, the third test of those highs before we saw technical profit taking at this zone. Sell orders came in right at the 7-week highs here. You can see spot on around the 2090 level, which sugar is struggling with 21 at the moment. If we can breach and close above that level, we are really going to see this market ramp up. Now, sugar is looking good today. It did pull back, technical profit taking yesterday, but then we've come back to a major area of support. Overall trend is very strong in sugar. It's up 31% this year, and we're continuing to see very strong support for this market. So I like sugar for more upside here. If we can crack above 21, there is a lot of clean air for us to then get up to the 22 zone and beyond that 23 and even higher. In the longer term, we're looking for higher prices here. There's a deficit on sugar which could last over 2 years now. There's more demand than supply at the moment. Sugar is being consumed more than there is demand available for this market, more than there is supply available, excuse me, for this market. So with that, I do see more upside for sugar, and this is a market which you definitely want to have on your radar. Among the other softs here, coffee is also a market which I would pay a lot of attention to. We broke out of a bull flag formation just last week. We also had a pennant formation as well. Over July this year, we did have a runaway move on coffee. We broke out to the highest level since February 2015. We had significant upside. There wasn't much of a chance actually to get in after this really considerably broke out from mid-June onwards. We had a runaway move up until the end of July, but now we've been gifted with this pullback that we've had over August. We've now broken out of this range and we've got above significant moving averages here. You can see now coffee has a lot of clean air to run up higher. Now, we did come up to an important level, the 146 zone yesterday, saw some profit taking. We're back at support, and this I expect to build up momentum over the rest of the month and into September as well. Again, fundamentals are bullish for this too. We've seen an additional investment inflow into coffee. I expect higher prices. So that is also a market which I would definitely suggest you want to have firmly on your radar. Now, moving over to gold. So gold at the moment, we interestingly actually outside of major news yesterday, we saw this pop to the downside very quickly. If you have a look at this on the tighter time frames, we had a 80-point move within seconds yesterday. We broke through support. So we had seen gold trading around 1,340 US dollars throughout most of last week. It got supported at that level, and very quickly yesterday we saw some big sell orders come in which took it down to about 1,326. So we saw about an 80-point move very quickly outside of major news, which was interesting. Obviously, a big position was exited out of this market just yesterday. Now, what can we expect moving forward? Well, right now, gold is definitely on the defensive as we go into Janet Yellen's speech tomorrow. There's a lot of anticipation. The speech is going to be hawkish. And there might be suggestions of the Federal Reserve being in a position to increase interest rates in September. Regardless of whether they go ahead and do so or not, just the indication that they're in a position to do so has been perceived as being weak for the precious metals. Now, that is the rumor at the moment, and what we're seeing is selling the rumor right now. So what you want to watch out for is how much of this is already getting priced into the market. The market is already anticipating a hawkish speech tomorrow, and we've already seen sell-offs in gold, in silver, on a number of other commodities, and some strength in the US dollar. So the big question is, when Janet Yellen actually comes out with her speech tomorrow, will we just see a case of selling the rumor, buy the news, and we see gold and silver get bought back into the close tomorrow or on Monday next week ahead of non-farm payrolls? Or will we just see, in fact, a surprise with the markets? Will we see Janet Yellen actually not go ahead with a hawkish stance and go for a dovish stance, in which case we would also expect the metals to get supported? Now, what would we look at here for downside right now? So between now and the speech tomorrow, the overall short-term momentum of gold, we can see here it's bearish. So we've got, just in the short term, we've got underlying support between 1320 down to the 1310 zone. This is the level we closed at. We actually closed at 1315 following on from Brexit. That then resistance zone, you can see here very clearly, has turned into a support zone. That sits at 1315. Under that, you've got 1310. So that is the major zone of support right now, which you could see gold just gravitate to over the course of today's session, potentially as we head into the speech tomorrow as well. The big question will be then is whether we find support at this level, whether we overshoot this support zone in the short term, possibly breaching below 1300s in the short term. There is a major Fibonacci level at 1296. Below that, major underlying support at 1290. Whether we just overshoot this and then very quickly get bought back into as we head into next week is a possibility here. Now, you have to remember, gold so far this year, it's still up 26% in 2016, okay? Even with the pullback we saw yesterday, it's nothing compared to some of the pullbacks that we've seen in other markets. We saw a 50% full pullback in oil over 2.5 months. This correction or pullback that we're seeing in gold at the moment, it's still range bound between 1310 to 1360. It's only about $40 to $50 off its highs of the year. If you think about it, where did gold start off the year? $1,050. Where is it now? It's at 1,323. It's gained over 2,000 points to the upside, $200 move here. So it's only really pulled back about 40 to 50 US dollars, or 400 to 500 points off the highs here. So it's not really pulled back too significantly at all. So right now, what would I look at? I would be on the side of caution. I do think gold is on the defensive right now. I would also be ready for some potentially good buying opportunities after the speech tomorrow or as we go into next week. What you want to look out for is bear traps, and that is essentially where you break a level of support like the 1300 zone or the 1310, you overshoot it, and then you see big orders come back into the market. So you see some sort of breakdown in price, and then ultimately into the close, you get some sort of rejection candle that gets formed, gets bid back up into the close or into Monday next week. Bargain hunters come back in. You've got some major channels here where you could see gold just very quickly get bought back into, and then you see a reversal in price. So that's what I would look out for. You might see a bit of a shakeout here in the short term for gold, and then a reversal to the upside. The other side of this is, of course, we may just see this level get supported between 1310 to the 1320 zone, because we're just ricocheting between support and resistance. Buyers come in around the current level, or we don't see gold do too much today. It might just consolidate. The other factor is the US dollar, which is forming, in my opinion, it's got a bear flag formation right now. So it's been retracing this week, but it's struggling with overhead resistance. You can see this bear flag in development. So I'm looking out to see whether tomorrow or into next week, we will just see this breach to the downside. The US dollar index is back at resistance. And if it does just have another wave lower here, it's got quite a lot of room to fall down, especially breaking below the 94 zone would be quite an important level. So I'm just watching out for that too. The US dollar hasn't really managed to pick up momentum so far this week, considering the overall expectation for hawkish speech tomorrow from Janet Yellen. So we're watching that closely at the moment. Now, silver, I've had a few questions about silver. What can we expect next on this market? So we'll just move over to silver as well, and I'll just talk you through that. So silver, I would pay attention to the Brexit high. So this is where we broke out over Brexit. We got up to 18.30. There are quite a few traders who are looking at $18 as well. I don't know that we will get as low as that, but $18 would be the high from April, and that is also the 100-day moving average sits at that zone. I would expect, you can see there's a little bit of clean air here for silver. There's no reason for silver to get supported at 18.50 at the moment, other than it's a psychological level being a round number, 18.50. Otherwise, you've got a Fibonacci level and also the highs of Brexit, which are 18.30. That will be a major zone between $18 and 18.30. I would suggest represent a good buying opportunity for silver. Again, although it's broken down in the short term here, you have to remember bigger picture. Silver has been the best performing commodity of 2016. Silver has been up 46% over this year. Between 2008 to 2011, when silver then transitioned into a bull market, it moved 480% in 2.5 years. So it's worth bearing that in mind. The short-term correction that we've got at the moment could be perceived as a good buying opportunity once we get the speech out of the way. The majority of the time when you're looking at the transition of a bear market to a bull market, what do you need to see? Normally you're looking at approximately a 20% gain on that market in order for it to be considered moving into a bull market. So now silver has been up 46% this year. It's transitioned into a bull market. As such, there are a lot of traders looking for buying opportunities. Now, certainly over the week and a half, last week and a half, there have been opportunities to go for a short-term sell. Probably traders have taken advantage of a break of this overall level of support, but now we're getting into an oversold condition. I would be very careful about this market as we go into the speech tomorrow. We're on the sidelines at the moment in terms of taking any fresh positions. Get the speech out of the way tomorrow, see what we get as a result into the close on Friday, and then on Monday next week, actually maybe even on Friday into the close, and on Monday we'll be assessing opportunities on this market. What would it take for silver to really break down and gold to break down and for it to really be part of a much larger correction here? You'd need to see a break and a close below $18. That would be an important level. That's a swing highs going back to April, and that's also the levels which are reached over Brexit as well. So a break back below the 18 level would be quite major in the short term, although you've still got underlying support at $17. So it could still, a 50% retracement, which we've seen in oil, would take silver down to 1730 and 1740, and with that it could still ramp up and go higher. But I would just be a bit wary of that. For those of you who are looking to buy into silver, you're looking for an opportunity to invest in this market, I would just wait a little bit longer, get the Federal Reserve speech from Janet Yellen out of the way. We've got also a FOMC statement in mid-September. You've got non-farm payrolls next Friday. You've got Bank of England, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank announcements. Pretty much most weeks you've got an announcement over the month of September, providing volatility, providing uncertainty. You could see some good moves here on the metals after this pullback. So I think we're getting into some exciting times now. September. Now, actually, during the course of this session, let me just show you something. Sugar's just ramped up. I've just seen it out of my other screen here. So just give you an idea, this is what sugar is doing right now, 2070 now. So this is moving up quite nicely. It's literally just popped about another 30 points over the course of me talking. So you can see how close sugar is now to breaking above 4-year highs. It's ramping up quite well here. It just needs to take out yesterday's high. That will be the 7-week highs. Get above the high of 2109, which we're about 40 points away from at the moment. And sugar is going to be back at its 4-year highs. Good investment demand on this market. If you're getting frustrated with some of the markets at the moment, might be the precious metals, might be Forex, so just channeling ahead of the FOMC, the speech tomorrow. Look at the softs, look at coffee, look at sugar, look at cocoa. There's some great moves, guys. You don't want to miss out on those markets, okay? And with that, I'll also just transition over to oil as well. It had that corrected pullback. We reached $52 per barrel at the end of May, beginning of June. We pulled back then 50% correction, which is perfect actually in terms of a corrected pullback. That's a sort of level you'd want to hit. You can see we hit that Fibonacci level spot on, just overshot the 200-day moving average, formed the bullish engulfing candle, rallied up 23% here. We've now pulled back, got 2 overbought. We've pulled back. We're looking for buying opportunities around the 50-day moving average here, around the 46 level. I'm keeping a very close eye on this. We have short-term momentum to the downside because the crude oil inventories yesterday were very bearish for oil. There's a big oversupply in the short term. However, any comments which relate to a production freeze again at the OPEC meeting next month are just sending oil higher. So it might just be we get a short-term corrected pullback, profit taking as well, and then we're looking for evidence of support around the 45 to 46 level in order to get back in. Goldman Sachs have come out with their prediction that they expect gold to be oil to be range bound between 45 to 50 US dollars per barrel. So again, a move back towards 46 to 45. You've got in the region of a $4 to $5 move for a move back up. We're personally looking for moves back towards the highs of this year, taking out 52 US dollars per barrel, but that could happen later on this year or at the beginning of next year. But right now, I'm looking for opportunities to for confirmation, but looking at opportunities to get into this for another shift higher. But as of today and into tomorrow's session, again, guys, I would definitely pay attention to the soft commodities here. So I would be definitely having a look at sugar and also coffee as well. And in fact, on that note, there are, of course, opportunities for you if you feel you've missed out on a lot of the moves that we've had so far this year on commodities. You are being gifted right now with some big opportunities as we head into September, particularly on the precious metals. I mean, gold is actually putting back a little bit further at the moment. You've got next support 1315, 1300. There are going to be some great opportunities as we come out of tomorrow's speech, as we go into next week as well, which you don't want to miss. So I'll talk you through that at the end of today's session if you would like to get a bit more information on that and how to trade those specific news items and how to trade the rest of the month as well as we head into non-farm payrolls next week and the FOMC statement later on this month as well. Okay, perfect. So with that, let me just move over to a couple of our top trades that we've had over the last week. A lot of the action has been in the grains and also on the softs this week in the agricultural markets. We got a lovely breakout trade following on from the USDA report in mid-August for soybeans here, catching a 470-point gain. Also, cocoa gave us a really nice opportunity to get in from bargain hunting level here when it came down, retested the 2016 lows, gave us a good opportunity on a bullish engulfing candle to get in here for a 275-point gain. And we've got a number of open positions on other soft commodities at the moment, which are moving nicely into profit. So if you would like access to these, if you'd like access to highly profitable live trading ideas shared with you, ready to implement for instant results, there is an opportunity for you to join us at the Gold and Silver Club. All you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com, complete the application form, and we will, of course, get in touch with you ASAP. Who's it for? Well, whether you're a new trader, if you're looking to develop a solid understanding of the markets, fast track your results, or even if you are an experienced trader, but you're looking to take that trading to the next level, the private members live trading room, it's definitely for you. What does this include? Well, you get access to our live trade room webinars. So you get access to our exclusive live trading rooms where you can watch the Gold and Silver Club expert traders analyze the commodity markets right in front of you, picking out highly profitable trade setups, sharing exact entry, exit points, profit and stop loss targets, as well as walk you through live trade ideas ready to implement. We also provide trade notifications via email, SMS, so you get real-time trade notifications alerting you when to enter a trade. All of those notifications include exact entry, where to exit, place a stop loss. We provide that information of the trades that we are taking. All of the setups are sent out in advance notice to ensure you have plenty of time to get into each position at the best possible price, and you get access to all of our commodity research and market insights. So you get exclusive access to our proprietary trading research, market insights to help you boost your win rate and ensure you're on the right side of the trade. So our trading research is really there to give you the ultimate edge when you're trading the commodity markets. So what does it include? Just as a recap, private members get access to exclusive weekly live trading room webinars, live trade setups ready to implement. You get exact details of where to enter, exit, place your stop loss on each trade. You get live trade notifications by email and SMS. You get weekly live trading plan with watch list of our trade ideas for the week ahead, live trade support to help you through each trade, and institutional level trading research and commodity insights to give you the ultimate edge in the markets. So again, to get exclusive access to our private members live trading room, all you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com, complete the application form, and of course, we will get in touch with you ASAP. Okay, fantastic. So with that, guys, I hope that gives you a little bit of a plan as we move into the US session. Today, again, definitely hot markets to keep an eye on will be the soft commodities. We're really starting to see some good momentum to the upside. Tomorrow and into next week, the precious metals will definitely be in play. There could be some really nice trade opportunities develop after that speech. And if you want to find out more, do feel free to get in touch with us. So with that, guys, I wish you all the best. We'll speak to you very soon. And of course, course, I very much look forward to welcome those of you who will be making an application and joining us at the Gold and Silver Club. Okay, fantastic. Take care, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye.